Good morning, good morning. So, want to shout out, Don Calypso. I just finished a voice note to him, and he kind of not inspired this, because this was inspired by my last video, but he really helped me flesh it out, I would say, for sure, and giving me another, like, a point to add to it, a feather in the cap, so to speak. But, you hear about this Paris Milan allegedly having a baby. Whether it's true or not, that's not the point of this. The point is, these women will defend this type of behavior, the behavior that they indulge themselves into, that they practice on a daily basis. They will defend their dysfunction, their ratchetry, and everything else that goes along with it, because what they're trying to do is make sure they have a softer landing, software era, all that other shit. They want to have a softer landing. They want to be able to indulge in this, have fun, and do all this other stuff. You have this video, of course, that's going out. Chess made a commentary on it, and I actually sent him information on it. But, you look this chick up, her TikTok is down, and then you look the chick up, and then, because Google caches stuff, I see the link for her link tree, go to it, go to her YouTube channel, and she's a traveling dancer. But yet, she's complaining about how men are treating her like a fun girl. And it's just like, they're treating you like a fun girl because you actually are a fun girl. Like, they're treating you like you want to be treated. And in my last video, I said something at the end, and this is why the premise of this video: life will tell you to go outside and pick your own switch. Go outside and pick what the fuck I'm about to beat your ass with. Is it a belt? Is it a branch? Like, what size is the branch? You know what I'm saying? Do you need a whole fucking tree for your dumb ass? Like, life will literally say, hey, listen, don't worry about it. You good, no problem. Go outside, pick your switch. But I don't want to. Pick your switch. And the way it works is, the thing is, you always pick the switch that's going to whoop your fucking ass, that you're going to feel. So you hear things about, like, Paris Milan, and I told Don in the voice note, I said, yo, listen, man, I really don't care as much about, like, this type of stuff, especially these women doing all this shit, simply because life is literally telling these women to pick their own switch, and they're picking being single mothers. Men in some cases, some women are picking single motherhood. Men in some cases are picking homosexual life. That's far less. Homelessness. We're picking financial despair. We're picking poor financial decisions. We pick all these things. And I have an old saying, or saying that I've said been saying for a while. A lot of people don't want to admit that they're getting everything that they want out of life. And the other part of that is, if you admit what you're getting out of life and you look at what you have, and then you say, man, this is not what I want, your actions really, in terms of, like, your work ethic, what you do with your money, how you invest, if you don't invest, paying off debt, and, racking up more debt and all types of other stuff. Life will just say, oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and pick that switch. I'm going to whoop your fucking ass with it. And this is what's happening. A lot of people are getting whooped by the switch that they pick. And switch is that term, like, oh, listen, go ahead, pick a branch. Go ahead, pick a branch off the tree. And that was used to whip you with. That's like, a Black American culture thing. I don't know how we would say it in Jamaica, but, like, I forgot. Yeah, I don't know the saying we would say in that, but, like, if we have something that correlates to that. But, life is just letting you do this shit. Like, because you have free will. You could do anything that you want. You can also make better and more prudent financial decisions. You can make better life decisions in general, in terms of who you mate with, who you don't mate with, what you actually decide to do. Like, for instance, what if I had the chance to get with a married woman? What would be my choice? Like, life is going to let you make that choice. Like, of course she's with it, because it's not like you're taking advantage of her. She's with it. Like, she's made that choice, right? And you can go ahead and make the choice and indulge in it with her. Be the sneaky link. Bread is pleasant when eaten in secret. Like, you can do all these things if you want to. The thing is, when you do, don't get mad nor complain about the shit when it comes back to bite you in the head, when it comes back to whoop your fucking head. Like, whoop your ass and beat you over the fucking head. And this is the problem. People are getting mad and coming back and talking shit and talking as if, like, black men ain't shit, or these hoes ain't loyal, and all this other shit. Man, like, life will let you pick your own switch to beat your own ass with. And that's the crazy shit about it, is like, a lot of people just, they don't like getting that ass whooping because of the decisions that they chose. I always tell like my homeboy, man, like, you have to teach your kids about gravity. You know, you have to teach, you know, your kids that gravity exists. And a lot of people, millennials included, I think we're the generation where this really was more apparent. But a lot of us don't know that gravity exists. We just think that we could do whatever the fuck we want. There's not going to be any repercussions. There's not going to be any consequences. We could say all the types of fuck shit that we want. We could do anything we want, especially on the internet, which is a fucking playground, on social media and all these other fucking places. We can do all this shit and not have to worry about somebody coming back and or something coming back to bite us in the ass. This is why cancel culture was such a big thing. It started to shut up a lot of people. People went underground. People hid their face, so on and so forth, right? And it's wild to me. It really is, like, wild to me, right? Like, how a lot of, like, millennials, people in my age group, just act as if there's no consequences for their actions. Like, nothing will happen to them. Like, they shouldn't have to suffer at all. They shouldn't have to sacrifice. They shouldn't have to make life decisions that are bitter or not so sweet now, just so they can actually have a better life experience later. You know, like, that's just so fucking weird to me. You know, I always talk about, like, you know, like my debt and things that I'm doing, and I overshare. I share too much. I share to a point where it's bragging, right? Sometimes I'm trying to, like, hype other people up and tell them what my experience is. I'm very excited, and if you know me and people talk with me on, like, you know, a personal basis, or you know, one-on-one basis, they see, like, hey, listen, man, it's not really just bragging, right? Or not just bragging. It's really me trying to talk and say, hey, listen, you could do this, man. Like, this shit is an option. Like, you can actually make this fucking shit happen, and it can actually do something similar or the same thing for you. So, like, yo, try it. Like, see what's out there and see if it's possible for you. You know, put it in play, so on and so forth. And some people could take that the wrong way, however they feel. I'm not going to say nothing really about that. But, you know, I have seen things in my life in terms of my life experiences, and I won't say that it's like a ton of life experiences, but I won't say that it's a little bit. I have enough, especially at the age of 36, going on 37 in a couple of days. Like, I have enough to where I can come back and tell you, oh, listen, man, this is what I did. This is what I think I did wrong. This is what I see other people do. This is what, like, this is how I feel, how I reconcile my differences with certain things, right? And I could say, hey, listen, this is the problem that you're going to run into. Or I've seen this so many times before, or heard the same scenario so many times before, I already know what's going to happen. And some people will be like, you know, my friend has actually said this. He's like, listen, man, you're just listening to talk. You're not listening to hear. And it's like, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. I understand what you're saying, and you're totally right. I don't need to hear anything else about your story that you're telling me. Let me tell you the outcome. Well, how do you know? And it's like, listen, I've heard it enough times before. I can learn from other people, okay? But we see this shit where people, like, you know, life will just let you, you know, Dave Ramsey, you know, the debt porn extraordinaire. I love his work, man. Like, something about people in debt and talking about it, man. It's crazy shit. But Dave Ramsey says, you know, he'll talk about, like, you know, God looking down at you and, you know, looking at your plans, and then your plans, and you think you're doing something, and God's looking at, he doesn't even see it. And, like, I think about that all the time in terms of that saying, and or that, like, mindset. And I'm like, wow, okay, is there something that I'm not seeing here? Like, is there something that that is right in front of me that I am just totally missing because of my own bias and stuff like that? Like, I think about, okay, I ordered a vehicle and everything else like that and all the stuff that I'm doing, and I'm like, will this last? Do I have a plan B? Can I afford to do this if I don't have X, Y, and Z in place? So I'm thinking about what I'm going to do in terms of moving into the future and saying, like, all right, cool, I make this move. How much money do I have to have in the bank to be quote unquote comfortable, right? Like, you know, the 6 months, you know, pay off debts, and then have that 6 months in terms of 6 months of what do they call, emergency fund and stuff like that, right? Like in a more advanced emergency fund. Just put $2,500 in the bank account today, and like, all right, cool, put that aside. All right, so now moving on to finish off paying, you know, my consumer debt, and that should be pretty much done by the end of November. It looks like mid-November at this point, which is great. So that's been accelerated a little bit, right? And then moving on to like, all right, cool. The next thing is, once the debt's finished paid off, then okay, big down payment for the car, right? Like, all right, making sure that I have a decent down payment for that vehicle to where I can lighten the monthly impact. That'll be great. If anything, if it takes a little bit longer for the vehicle to come, even better, because then that just gives me a little bit more time to work and get some other stuff done, and you know, put some other things aside. So like, I'm really trying to set myself up so I don't fail, like, you know, I don't like, just, I don't have a hard time with this. But then it's like, I think about all of this, again, wrapping it back around to the overall point here, but I think about all of this, and I think about what people are doing in their lives, and how they court chaos, and how they literally, they're putting themselves in a position to where life is gonna beat them over the head with their own fucking consequences, or the consequences of their own decisions. And it's just like, again, when, like, you know, I get this video of a Paris Milan allegedly having a child, it's like, okay, that's just an archetype. A lot of these women will do this shit, and then, you know, they'll do this shit, and then they'll say all types of stuff to put themselves, to make the environment itself. They try to terraform the environment, but they try to make the environment bend to their whims, so to speak, right? Like, hey, if I do this, and then I go out there and support other women that are doing this, and even if I say, like, I've asked women in the past, man, like, you know, gone back and forth with women talking about something, and, you know, I asked a chick simply, I was like, would you get up on stage, bust it wide open, no drawers whatsoever, you got a dress on, pull up your dress while you're pregnant, bend over, and shake your ass for everybody to see damn near the head of your child through your vag? Would you do that? And the chick said no. And I said, why would you defend it then? And then when I see this, it's like, or when I heard this, or when I saw that, and she said, no, I wouldn't do it, but, you know, she can do blah, blah, blah. The reason why they defend this shit is just so they can have a softer landing. They defend this shit because they don't want it to be, they don't want to be in that position and then get mistreated for it, disrespected in any way, shape, or form. Or better yet, they just don't want to hear the truth. And when you realize that, when you see that, when you see how that actually all plays out, and how a lot of these chicks do this shit, and then they expect to quote unquote just get away with it or not hear anything about it, or they can't be told shit, you really start to see the insidious nature of people with this mentality. And it's the same shit when dudes do the same shit too. And I'm not trying to make this, oh, you know, dudes do it too type shit, but like, just look at it, man. A lot of motherfuckers are defending bad actions, horrible, deplorable, dysfunctional behavior, because they, one, they want to do it. Two, they don't want to serve any type of consequences for it. And three, when they do it, they don't want to feel bad doing it, because they already know it's the wrong decision. A lot of these fucking people know this shit is fucked up. They know it's wrong, but they do it anyway. Like, come on. Like, nobody sees this. Nobody's just like, yo, this is fucked up. Like, anyways, I gotta get to work. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Love you all.